Hello guys, it's Pouria Sadeghi here with another episode of High Achievers, and today I have Lydia Herman with me. She is a licensed real estate agent and an investor in Vancouver. She's been in the industry for a few years now. She is absolutely killing it. One of the most strongest women that I know, and I wanted to bring her on here with you guys. Get into asking some questions about her, about real estate, how she got into real estate, what she thinks about what is going to happen into real estate, and maybe some personal questions. And all the ladies can connect with her and even ask her some questions too. So Lydia, please go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, my name is Lydia Herman. I'm a part of Sadeghi and Associates team,
We're very
and
proud to have you.
thank you so much. Yeah, our brokerage is EXP Realty, and I have been in real estate for about 4 years now.
Nice. So can you tell us how you got into real estate?
Well, originally I've been, around real estate a lot. I have a lot of friends that are developers, investors, and I was always really interested in how these people are all making money.
Yeah.
So it was very intriguing to me to see people investing in real estate and, growing their portfolio. And I always wanted to be around that environment. And fast forward a few years later, you suggested that I get into real estate, and I'm so happy I did it because I love my job. I love helping people. I love connecting with people.
Yes.
I love helping people,
And that's what's actually helped you to grow so fast in this industry in just a few years. You're one of the most successful woman real estate agents in Vancouver. I have a question from you. This was a question that a lot of people ask. Do you think, is it easier for a man to get into real estate or a woman?
Well, that's a good question because I think it's hard both sides in their own individual ways, right? I feel like
Have some advantages and
it
disadvantages.
does. It
Right?
does. I feel like, men have more credibility in general, and that's they can connect with men more. But I do think that for females, we have an advantage because
More detail oriented.
we are more detail oriented.
Easier, you communicate easier.
We
with
communicate
people, too.
easier,
You
that's
have more
right.
patience. I feel like that's why we're a team, right? Every time you have like the type of the seller that's it's kind of harder for me to communicate with them. Lydia is always there, honestly, to
That's
support
right. We're a
them.
good team together
Yes,
for
exactly.
sure. I wouldn't do it with anyone else.
All right, so that was my question personally too. I wanted to see like what were the obstacles as a lady getting into this industry than a guy. So, because when I got into this industry, I came from a construction background, and I already had a lot of investors and people that were working with me from the construction. So the first year, I just got the ball was rolling for me, and I had like these sales coming in, and I just wanted to see how it was for someone else that just got into the industry.
Well, actually, a couple people have told me before I got into real estate that, women are going to be jealous of you, or, talking to, their husbands or anything like that. And they said, don't do it. It's going to be not good. And I said, well,
It is what it is.
It is what it
I
is.
I can't just sit at home and not work,
Yeah.
right? That's good. So you think women supports you though? Like, do you have like women
Absolutely,
clients?
absolutely. I have lots of women clients. I have lots of male clients. So it's all.
Nice, nice. So you've been in the industry for 4 years now, and every year you've been growing. I would say double more than last year.
Absolutely, yes.
And
Yeah.
that shows that you're on the right path, because that's the only way that the results speak louder than anything, right? You can sit here and say, I'm this, I'm that, but your results are proving that you are doing everything right and you're going through the correct direction.
I mean, it takes time, right? In real estate, it's not just you just get your license, right? You have to take the time to be out on the field, talk to clients, gain that confidence. And I feel like over the years, that has definitely changed for me, and my career has been doing the best ever.
Yeah.
This has been my busiest year, so I'm
Nice.
really happy.
Congratulations. So, what do you think? What characteristic of yours do you think is helping you the most to become successful?
Just in real estate or in general?
In real estate.
In real estate. For me,
Why don't you answer both?
for me, it's customer service. So that to me is very important. When I speak to clients, I always reply to their requests, their concerns. I take my time to be very detail oriented, just like how we talked about it. I feel like clients want to also be your friend at the same time. So I do provide all of that. I do provide full service to my clients.
And I feel like you're not just there for the transaction to happen. You're there from the start till the end. Like I see you, even from finding the property, looking for financial advice on how to easier get approved for the mortgages, what process they should go through. Even when we go through the inspections, I see you make a good report. And even I feel like for you, one of the biggest PowerPoints that I see you have is that you are there to support them, and your customer service is absolutely the best.
I mean, I think that's very important when you're dealing with clients in any field, really. And they ask all sorts of questions, not just about real estate and, real estate transaction. They do ask about like sometimes mortgage questions or like things that, is not in my expertise. So I'm not really allowed to advise them, but I can tell them some sort of advice, but refer them to a mortgage broker after all.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, no, I think that's the best thing that you have. And I feel like a lot of the realtors, they try to do a lot of marketing. They get and find these clients. And then when the time comes for them to find properties for them or to do the transaction for them, then they don't really take care of the clients.
Or the client is not properly qualified. And then you end up wasting your time. You waste your client's time. You waste, the other party's time. It's just not ideal, right?
Yes, right. One of the biggest obstacles that you think you have had in this industry, what has it been?
I would say...
Or the hardest thing in this industry for someone to become successful, what is the hardest thing that they need to focus on and to become successful?
For me, I think it would be... getting that credibility amongst realtors and friends and people that have seen me grow as a person. It does take time, and I feel like I've achieved that. And people do call me for advice. People do refer me clients. So I feel like that was the hardest part for me, and I have overcome that.
Especially you were so much younger too, right? At that time, you're still pretty young, but at that time too. I was too. When I started real estate, I was 24. And it was super hard to compete with these agents in the industry for 20 years. But we are passionate, and the times have changed. It's not like we are, in 1990 that you had to gain experience to understand the industry.
It was a different world back then.
It was very different. Now you just go on Google, you just go on YouTube, you just watch some videos, and you learn so much. And actually, that's why I'm making these videos, because I want to educate the younger generation too, or people that are looking to learn real estate. But some people are shy. They don't want to directly come and ask you for advice, but they watch your videos.
People, all they care about is that, people are talking about you. You're a good agent. You're active in the market. You have good reviews.
Yes.
And it doesn't really matter about how old you are, really. It's about the actions that you make and the results that you show. But it's kind
of harder to trust someone that is like very, very young, right?
That's true.
As an investor, because for most people, real estate or their home is their biggest asset. So they work all their life to have a house, and then they can't really trust someone young to sell it.
It would have to be someone that they've already worked with,
or a family member.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
So, do you remember your first sale?
Yes.
What was it?
My first sale was a pre-sale to a client. And actually, it's so funny because I'm doing my third transaction with the exact same client.
Nice.
So.
Amazing. So how happy were you when you made your first transaction?
I was very happy. And I was super motivated afterwards. You have no idea.
How did you find that client?
He was actually somebody I used to train with.
Okay, he used to work out. So gym, basically.
From the gym, yes.
Nice. Can you tell us maybe a couple of books that have helped you so much?
I really like selling secondhand.
Okay.
Selling Selling like
Sell it like Sirhan.
Oh, yeah. I really like Sell It Like Sirhan. That's one of my favorite books. I learned a lot from him and how he started and his dedication. And,
It really helped me
I
too.
could go on in the book, but maybe for another time. Another book.
I know you're a very positive person. What I like about you is your positivity. Do you think Think and Grow Rich or Atomic Habits?
Atomic Habits, for sure.
Atomic
That
Habits,
was one
right?
of my other
Yeah.
favorites.
I remember
It was
me and
really
you were
good.
studying that or reading it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So what do you have as an advice for people that are just getting into the industry? What do they need to work on before they get into the industry? Well, what characteristics they have to be successful in this industry? And who do you recommend real estate to? Like if they are looking as real estate as a career, do you recommend it to everyone or?
Well, real estate is not for everyone. I know it seems all like glam and show, but it's not. It's not an easy job. You definitely have to be meant for it and cut for it. You have to have people skills. You have to always be available for clients. We work 24/7. Like I work day and night. You know, you have to be fully dedicated to your career. That's the only way that you're going to make it. You can't rely on people for leads. You have to go get your own leads. In the beginning, of course, it's going to be mainly your family members, your friends that are going to give you a business because they want to support you.
That's right.
But later on, you have to go out there. You have to do anything you can to get those leads. Otherwise, you don't get paid, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Another thing is before you actually get into real estate, I would suggest studying different areas, different cities, and different sub areas of those cities that you actually want to get into. It's very important that you know your market.
Exactly.
You know, even just if you
The
can just go
neighborhoods,
on, you can go right into the MLS system because you're not allowed before you get your license. But I do suggest going on rue.ca or realtor.ca and studying on how much different types of units or homes are for sale so that you kind of get ahead of the game and you can jump right into it when you get your license.
That's right. That's actually something that really helped me too, because North Vancouver and West Vancouver, I know it by heart. And I know every street, I know the homes, I know even who was the owner of that property before, how much it's sold
it's
for.
really a game changer.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And then when someone approaches you, even when you're out having a conversation with someone at a coffee shop or a restaurant, the amount of information I can have just by getting the address from someone, they will be impressed, because when I start talking to them about their home or their neighbor, or sometimes I know their home. And I said, well, is that house the green house that with the roof like that? And they say, yeah, that's our house.
And
right?
they will start trusting you even more because you know all of this information.
Because the real estate is a game of trust. The more information you have, the more people trust you.
That's
and
right.
I would do the same thing. I always try to put myself in other people's shoes and say, okay, well, if I was the client, what I would like about my agent. And then I try to focus on that more. Like if that person is a numbers guy, if the client is a numbers guy, then I'm going to talk about numbers.
Well, another thing is you have to be really good at reading people.
Exactly. So it's about psychology too. You have to read people. You have to understand your clients. You have to understand their needs, and you have to see how to approach them and level your energy with them. You can't just come and speak so fast and loud to an elderly woman trying to buy them home. Obviously, they won't connect with you, or you can't do vice versa as well. Or if someone that their English is not their first language, you can't just like come and put out these.
It's so interesting
big names.
because the way I connect with clients, I connect with people in general really easily, but I find that some clients that don't speak English very well, I can speak to them in a way that they understand
You
me.
simplify it.
And then I can speak to a client that had like that just got a master's degree, and we would talk a lot differently, you know.
Yes, exactly.
So.
Exactly. That's just psychology behind the sales, right? And so when you combine that with the sales technique that you learn along the way when you're in this industry, I think that makes a perfect agent right? I'm reading this book called Influence, and it's amazing because it's showing you so many different techniques that you can use to connect with people and also change their mind about either not buying something with you or walking away from a deal that is actually good for them, because people get cold feet, right? And they don't realize it, and then they come back after a week or two like, oh my God, why did we do that?
Well, I feel like the way that you get your client to understand that you want the best in their interest is really, the way I do it is I really go through the whole offer period with them, go through the whole when we go through all the different properties that we have seen, and I explain to them why this one is not good or why this one would be more beneficial for you. And I kind of walk them through it so that they psychologically understand that this is the best property for them. And also, right now the market is really hot. So today I had a conversation with a client where he's like, oh, like, can we still get more money off the purchase price? And I said, unfortunately we can't. And I went through the entire yesterday with him, explaining to him, we've gone back and forth, and the market is really hot right now.
Yes.
There's lots of buyers for this property. There are two people waiting to see what happens with us and wanting to make an offer. So he understood that, he can't.
And he'll appreciate you, as he has, because it's his third transaction with you.
Yeah,
so
he does. So sometimes it's not always easy, but you have to just let the client know that, you're in for their best interest.
Nice. That's amazing. So you're also a real estate investor yourself too. You invest in real estate. You bought your first home at the early young age, and I sold your condo for you, and that's how
Yes,
we
you
met,
did.
right? And that's actually when I told you that you should get into the industry,
right.
because I saw the potential you have, and I saw how organized
I
you
also
are.
made money on that property. So I
Yeah.
said, why not? Like, I can use all
You
of
saw
this
the real
knowledge
results. Yeah.
and put it right back into my own investments, in my
Yes.
own career.
Yes. And
That's one of the reasons.
That's one of the biggest advantages, besides helping people and besides obviously selling homes and making commissions and making an income and making a living. I think the best thing that comes out of being a real estate agent is that you learn the industry so well, and you learn
you
the market
utilize
so well,
that,
then
and
you can use that to your
Exactly.
advantage to reinvest your income into the industry and into the real estate, so you can make real profit. Because
That's
at the end
right.
of the day, I think no matter how much money you make as an income, you spend more money.
You do.
So your
I do.
income is not going to get you rich. It's your investments that are actually going to get
That's
rich,
correct.
because your investments are in a safe box that you can't touch.
There's only so much that you can really save. I feel like it's really hard to save money. I mean, I remember the first time I bought my home, and I had to come up with $60,000, and it took me a very long time. It was really hard, but that kind of started my whole investment portfolio, where I invested that money into a studio apartment, and that studio apartment grew, and I sold it, and then I upgraded to a bigger one, and that's for someone like me. I was young at that time. I had to start from ground zero. That's how you do it. You can't just expect that all of a sudden you're gonna afford this huge mansion. It takes time.
Exactly. But then now you have the knowledge too.
Of
So when
course, I
you're-
wish I had that knowledge back in the day.
Right?
I would even do things a lot.
So that's what I always tell people, like, no matter if you are going to become a real estate agent, to use it as an industry, as a career. I think you should definitely always be connected in the real estate market. You should always look what is happening, watch some homes, go on REW website and just like search for homes, see the prices, see what happens. For me, it's a hobby. Even if I'm not buying a house
enjoy
right now,
doing it.
Exactly. I even go to suburb. I go to right now I'm looking at the Soyuz. I want to see how much are wineries selling in the Soyuz, how much our houses are selling in the Soyuz, or in Whistler or in Squamish. Even if I'm not buying, I still search, because I want to know how much they are and what I can afford later on, that I become very rich,
Your motivation.
Yeah, exactly. It is like a motivation. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what you recommend for people that are looking to get in the industry. What has been the biggest gain for you as an agent? What is the biggest satisfaction you get from your job?
For me, it's the high of getting an accepted offer. For me, the best part of real estate is the negotiating. I find it over time, I've just become so, I get the job done. I
Is
don't
it
take no for
addicting?
an answer. It is.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful feeling.
Nice when
Yeah.
you're going to negotiate with someone else over a
Yes.
property,
Yeah.
and I think when you're able to negotiate it in your favor and your client's favor, the
Always.
call when you make that call to your
Yeah.
client, be like, I got it for you, right? That's the
And some
best.
bonuses on top.
And some bonuses on top. Nice, nice. Yeah, that's right. For me, it's the same thing, and also the day that they remove subjects, right?
Yes, that's
because
right.
because they accepted offer without removing
That's when it
subjects.
during the subject period is when you stress.
Yes. All right. That's really good. So you're investing in Vancouver and in the areas around Vancouver. Where are you more invested in right now?
I'm more invested in Colona at the moment. I'm invested in a development project, and I'm excited about it. It's great. I'm also
Why Kelowna?
Kelowna is one of the fastest growing cities in all of
It
BC,
is
all of
actually the fastest
Canada.
growing in Canada.
Yeah, so you want to be
The
where the
population
action
is
is.
growing, right?
Yes,
When
I'm
was the last time you went to Kelowna?
last year.
Last
Yeah,
year? Nice.
been a while.
Honestly, if you go now, you're gonna be like, wow, it has changed
It's hot
so
by
much.
now.
It is super
I'm
nice. I was
assuming
there
it's
2 weeks
gonna
ago,
be,
right?
yeah.
And it was beautiful. I loved it. And yeah, honestly, like 1 year ago when I went to Kelowna, there was only 2 cranes in downtown for the new buildings.
Yeah.
This time I saw 14 cranes
No
in
way.
downtown Kelowna,
Great.
and in areas like Lakeshore, big companies like Cressy is building a massive project, and I feel like the
That's good
name
to know.
and then the airport also became an international airport, which it's huge,
Beautiful.
right? So
Yeah.
people actually can directly fly to Kelowna, which is massive. And I'm gonna tell you something super funny. The first time I went to Kelowna was 2.5 years ago, I think.
No way.
Yeah.
Actually.
No, no. Actually, the first time I was very young, so I
Yeah,
didn't really
yeah.
look at it as an investment
Yeah,
city,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the first time that I actually went to Kelowna as an investor was 2 years or 2.5 years ago, and I remember when I was flying there in an airplane. It was such a small airplane, like maybe 50 or 100 or 80 people would fit. There was only two. It was 2 rows only, 2 seats on each side, and the airplane was making such a huge noise because it was one of those old airplanes, because there are not so many people that go to Kelowna every day, right? So 80 to 100 people was max. When I went to Colona 2 weeks ago, I went, I think, with a 747. It was 7 lanes, past airplane, fully brand new
Wow.
with like LCDs, games, everything. That
Perfect.
shows the demand for that city.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
even the airplanes have changed.
What I also really like about Kelowna is it's kind of like a valley in a sense. So
That's right.
so when it gets cold, but it's nice because you get to enjoy the winter. You get
Yes.
to go skiing. There's
Oh yeah.
mountains, big white.
Oh yeah.
And in the summer, it gets nice and hot. It's a wine
Wineries.
country. You
Yeah.
can, go swim in the lake. You can
Yes.
go for a glass of wine. So I think it's a very nice
You're
place
literally by the
to
biggest lake
live.
in BC.
Yeah,
Right?
it
Okanagan
is.
Lake is the biggest lake in BC, and wineries are beautiful during the summer, but they become super nice also during winter too. I've been there.
I haven't been to Colona in the winter,
Oh, it's
but
really nice. It gets
I
very
really
cold.
want to go.
Yeah, it gets super cold and it snows a lot, but the wineries are super nice
But
because
still not as cold as, other parts of the country.
yes, yeah, not as cold as Toronto,
Yeah.
but it still gets like super, super cold. I'm actually going to Toronto next week for the first time.
Nice.
Yes,
Great.
for the first time. I can't believe. But,
Amazing. I
yeah.
have to give you some tips
Yes,
for
please.
restaurants.
Guys, comment your tips for Toronto below. I'm going there. I want to see what's good locations to go to. No, we already have like everything booked up, like all the restaurants and
Nice.
everything.
That's how
and
you should do it.
yes, yes, it's gonna be nice. I'm going there for more podcasts and recording with more
Great.
people. So what advice do you have to give to people that are looking to invest in the real estate market right now?
Right now, it's a good time to invest. That being said, the market was really hot last year, and since then, it has come down about 10 to 15%, obviously depending on the area. But right now is still a good time. The market has become more active, so we're seeing multiple offers, but still the price is still lower than what it was last year.
That's right.
And the real estate market is just
Always
going
going
to keep going up, so I wouldn't wait any longer
So it's a
to
good time
invest.
to, I think it's a
Yes.
final month or two when.
That's right. The property prices have already gone up around
Exactly,
3%
exactly,
last month.
exactly.
So
So you just said that your clients are buying this townhouse and the sellers are making 300,000 profit
that's
on a
right.
property they bought in
In
2020.
2020,
Wow, in 2020. Well, that was
yeah,
like pandemic time, right?
it was.
It was
It
pandemic time,
was.
so
But
but
that's
that's
still
crazy.
really
That's
good.
amazing because they bought a place for
Yeah.
600 and something, and
I
now
wonder
there's
why they didn't want to sell it last year when the market was hot. Maybe the developer
maybe
didn't
developer
allow
wasn't
it.
allowing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Lydia. I really
Thank you for
appreciate you
having
coming
me.
on here. Reach out to Lydia if you guys have any questions in regards to real estate. She's amazing. She is a trustworthy person, and she's super professional. Her customer service is second to none, and I highly recommend her too. Thank you so much for coming.
Okay.